Hi, my name is Nelson. Welcome to our um, tw- 27th and no, so 27th annual general meeting. Uh, I'm part of the Self Advocates Council at Community Living Toronto, and I'm also part of the we know no the board of directors of Community Living Toronto. I'd like to introduce to you Victor Figueredo.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Victor Figueredo, and I'm the chair of the board of Community Living Toronto. Echoing Nelson's sentiments, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this morning. I would first like to begin by acknowledging that the land we're meeting on this morning is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. I would also like to acknowledge the many friends and partners we have here today. Joining us in the theater this morning, we have members of the Self Advocates Council and individuals and families supported by Community Living Toronto. We are also pleased to welcome all members of the association, representatives from other developmental agencies in Toronto and across the province. Representatives also here are representatives from the Canadian Association for Community Living Ontario, and I believe Oasis. Members of our Patrons Council, past board presidents of Community Living Toronto, and the current members of our board of directors. We also welcome our colleagues from CUPE Local 2191, as well as all Community Living staff, Toronto staff, and the senior leadership team. We are especially delighted to welcome our guest speaker for today's meeting, the Honorable Todd Smith, Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, and all our guests from the ministry. This morning, as members of the association, you will be asked to approve the slate of candidates as prepared by the Governance Committee for the Board of Directors for the coming year. This will be presented, the motion to, the slate of candidates will be presented by the Governance Committee Chair, Nick McRae. You will also hear a report from our Treasurer, Michael Chalice, on our current financial status. A detailed and very colorful annual report, which highlights the year's activities, achievements, and finances, has already been provided to you and is available digitally on the Community Living Toronto website. Brad Saunders and I have prepared a report for this morning to provide you with more details on some significant projects and achievements of our staff, volunteers, and partners. We will speak to you on some of these later in the morning. Extra copies of all reports and minutes are available through the Executive Office at 20 Spadina, which is next door. Once again, a warm thank you and welcome to our many friends and partners from other agencies and from across the city. We value our relationship with each of you, and we know that our collaboration with you has helped us to better support and serve our communities.
And I also forgot me on Facebook Live. Welcome everyone across the province. I'd like to introduce to you now Todd Smith. Again. Honorable Todd Smith from local Minister of Children and Social Services.
Minister Smith, who's also the MPP for Bay of Quinte, oversees Ontario's social assistance programs, community and developmental services, child welfare, and the Family Responsibility Office. In June 2018, Minister Smith was elected in the new Bay of Quinte riding in the Progressive Conservative majority government and was named Government House Leader and Minister of Government and Consumer Services by Premier Doug Ford. In November, he was appointed Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade while remaining Government House Leader, and during his tenure, over 163,000 jobs were created in the province of Ontario. During the Premier's last cabinet shuffle earlier this year, Minister Smith was appointed Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. He was first elected in 2011 in the riding of Prince Edward Hastings. While in opposition, Minister Smith served as the opposition critic on several files, including small business and red tape reduction, natural resources and forestry, energy, and the Hydro One sale. Before serving in government, he put forward numerous private members' bills dealing with tax fairness for realtors, market access for craft beverage producers, and mobile soccer net safety. He has continued to be an instrumental supporter of several important projects in his riding, including advocating for the protection of Prince Edward County's natural South Shore, the ongoing operation of Belleville's Sagonaska Demonstration School, and the continued funding and sustainability of small and rural hospitals. Beyond politics, Minister Smith has been active with many charitable and community causes. Minister Smith's family remains his most important priority. He enjoys spending time with his wife, Tanya, a local high school teacher, and his daughters, Peyton and Reagan. He's only been in his new role for a few months now, yet Minister Smith has taken the time to visit and meet with us several times since taking on his new portfolio. So on behalf of the individuals and families we support, I would also like to thank Minister Smith for his commitment to our sector. We have reason to understand that the critical stabilization funding we received last year will continue for the 2019-2020 year. This funding makes a world of difference in our ability to provide high-quality services across the city. After years of budget freezes, continued stabilization funding will be put to good use supporting the thousands of people in service with us and their families. So please join me in welcoming Minister Todd Smith.
Well, thanks very much, folks, and it's good to, well, I thought I could see you, but I guess I can't. It's pretty bright up here. It's good to see you this morning. Nelson, I used to be in broadcasting before I became a politician, and I must say, you're doing a great job as our MC today. I used to MC lots of events like this over the years. Victor, you're not bad either. You're okay. You're okay. You're no Nelson, though. You're no Nelson. Anyway, it is great to be here with all of you today at Community Living Toronto's 2019 annual general meeting. I do have a special place in my heart for Community Living. My wife, Tanya, that Victor mentioned, who's a high school teacher now, previously worked for Community Living before it was Community Living. It was called Plainfield Community Homes at the time in the Belleville area. And we used to visit different homes all the time. She worked at a place out on Mitchell Side Road on the east end of Belleville, I guess, and got to know all of the different clients in that home, and they would beat me all the time in Crazy Eights, and I would go at Christmas time and sing Christmas carols with them, so I really do have a special place in my heart for the work that Community Living does in our communities. Brad, it's great to see you and the great team that you have at Community Living Toronto. I have had the privilege of being a Children, Community and Social Services Minister for just over 3 months now, and one of the first visits that I made was to Community Living Toronto, right next door on Spadina Avenue. And not only did I have an opportunity to meet with your fantastic frontline workers at that time, but I also had an opportunity to play pool, and much like my Crazy Eights endeavors in Belleville, I ended up getting beat pretty badly, and I haven't got over it yet. But it was a lot of time. It was a great time playing pool with some of the clients over next door in your day programs. More importantly, while I was there, though, I heard the challenges and I heard the concerns of the sector and the people that those challenges affect, fundraising pressures, the growing wait lists that you face, aging caregivers, and I want to assure you that I understand those concerns loud and clear, and my government is ready to work with you to address those needs. My ministry remains focused on ensuring the sustainability and delivery of critical programs and services to the province's most vulnerable. And that's why we do recognize that the DS sector stabilization funding is a priority for agencies like yours, and we were happy to provide that again. And funding has been included in the funding allocation for 2019-20, and I know you'll put that to good use. I know you will. One of our ministry's primary missions is to support its service providers and provide the best advice for planning for the future. And we're confident that by working together, that we'll be successful in continuing to improve and enhance service and supports. You know, I want to use my time here today to highlight a couple significant initiatives that have caught my attention. First, the Discover My Route travel training program, a pilot project designed to teach individuals with an intellectual or developmental disability how to use public transit independently in Toronto. I know a lot of newcomers to Toronto have a hard time finding their way through the TTC system, and I think this is an absolutely this app plays an absolutely crucial role in empowering individuals and providing them with the self-confidence that they need to interact with public transit in the city. And I also want to praise the connectability.ca website. It's fantastic. This digital tool has become a place where users can share resources, stories, and ideas within the community. These programs are tremendous examples of how technology can serve as a powerful aid in promoting the independence and inclusion of all individuals in our society. Your work is essential to providing services to the Greater Toronto Area, and we want to continue building upon our strong partnership to achieve our goals, and that starts with listening and sharing ideas. And one of the things that I have made part of my early days in this role is to get out and visit community living offices, not just here in Toronto, but right across the province, and I've had a great time doing that. So thanks for the compassion and the dedication that you've shown to the most vulnerable people in our province, for your hard work and your commitment, and for finding and suggesting new and innovative ways to serve their best interests. These efforts haven't gone unnoticed. Just like yourselves, our government is committed to protecting the needs of Ontario's most vulnerable children, youth, and adults, and to provide a sustainable system that addresses the needs of all individuals in this province. That's why we've launched a comprehensive consultation with the developmental services sector. We want to hear from frontline workers, like those of you in this room and those of you watching on Facebook Live. Facebook Live. We want to hear from all of you as we move forward with progressive and thoughtful public policy changes. And that's the way a government should operate. That's how we intend to operate. Our government believes that everyone, regardless of ability or need, deserves to live an independent, purpose-driven life in whichever community they choose to call their home in Ontario. I look forward to working with you to make this a reality for all individuals, not just here in Toronto, but across Ontario. But even as we develop these technological advantages, we know that the current system poses many, many challenges for individuals and families, from the inability to access supports promptly, to challenges navigating a patchwork and confusing system, and the confusion and disruption of transitioning from children to adult services is something that we will be tackling in the next number of months and years. One of the main priorities of my ministry is to build an efficient system that provides supports for those who need it the most. And that's why we're investing over $2.6 billion, that's billion with a B, to support more than 40,000 adults with developmental disabilities to deal with the growing capacity needs. We're taking a cross-government approach to provide wraparound services that address affordable housing, long-term care, and mental health supports. And with partners like Community Living Toronto, we can work together on providing programs that are not only responsive and efficient, but also people-centered. That's the work that Community Living Toronto is already doing across this city and in this region. And we know you're doing a great job and very, very innovative, outside-the-box thinking on those fronts. Whether it's empowerment through education, housing, jobs, or recreational programs, children, youth, and adults with disabilities know they can count on having the support of community living staff. There's no greater honor than being an advocate for people with developmental disabilities and their families. Every day, I'm inspired by the work that Community Living Toronto does. I'm inspired by the work that Community Living Ontario does, quite honestly, for those folks right across our province that are our most vulnerable. Working together, we can ensure that each person with a developmental disability lives a dignified life and a fulfilling life with the supports and resources that they need. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you here this morning. Continued success as you continue to make sure that my buddy Nelson, and others have the independence that they should have. Thank you, folks. It's great to be here with you today. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And we would like to thank you for coming in today with a little token of appreciation.
All right. Oh, yeah? I'm going to open this, okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right. All right. How's that? Did you do that?
No,
Wow.
I'm not that talented.
You're more of a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. More stage and show than art, right? Yeah. Good man, Nelson.
Okay.
Thank you very much, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Before you leave, I just want to say thank you. Just before, the minister has to get back to the business of government. He's a busy guy. So just again, want to thank you for your remarks and for joining us today to bring greetings from your ministry. And we look forward to working alongside you in your new role.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay, thanks again for coming. We'll now move to the business part of our meeting. The minutes of the 70th Annual General Meeting of Thursday, September 27, 2018, were emailed or mailed to all voting members. We would now ask for a motion to approve these minutes. If you're moving any motions or seconding any motions, please stand and state your name clearly for the record. So the motion is, it's recommended that the minutes of the 70th Annual General Meeting of Thursday, September 27th, 2018 be approved. I need a mover. Somebody stand up. Oh, okay. Colleen. Seconded by? Discussion, if any. Those in favor can raise your cards. Yeah. Opposed? The motion carries. I would now like to ask Nick McRae, Chair of the Governance Committee, to come forward and to present the report from that committee.
Good morning. The members of the Governance Committee work throughout the year to present you with candidates who will continue to provide a wide range of experience, diversity, and skills to the Board of Community Living Toronto and its committees. Membership of the Governance Committee represents the Board of Directors. I'd like to thank the committee for all their hard work throughout the year and their commitment to providing good governance to the board. This year, there are 3 returning directors whose current terms have ended and who have been nominated to stand for re-election: Edward Lau, Laura Parsonson, and Susan Silma. In addition, Donna Britton and Judith Andressi will be retiring from the board. The board would like to thank them for the dedicated service over the years and to the association. With the recent changes to the association bylaws, the required number of board members has now decreased, so these vacancies will not be filled at this time. Nelson has served on the board as a Self-Advocates Council representative for the past 2 years. He has been appointed by the SAC to serve another 2-year term. In keeping with past practice, Victor Figueiredo will remain on the board for an additional year as past chair, which will require an extension of his term by 1 year. The Governance Committee is recommending that the slate of 3 nominees be approved for a 3-year term without a formal ballot, and that Victor's term be extended by 1 additional year. Consenting to serve on our board of directors is a serious commitment. Each of these candidates has provided their written consent to serve and have indicated their commitment to the association's purpose and objectives. From working with these directors, it is evident they all share a deep commitment to the community living cause and bring a wealth of experience and tremendous skills to the board table.
I will now ask Nick to put forward the motion.
The motion is, it is recommended Edward Lau, Laura Parsonson, and Susan Silma be approved for 3-year terms, 2019 to 2022, on the Community Living Toronto Board of Directors, and that Victor Figueiredo's term be extended for 1 additional year as recommended by the Governance Committee. Do we have a mover? Gary Pruden. Thank you, Gary. Second? Susan McCloy, thank you. Discussion, if any? Those in favor? Motion carried.
Nick, on behalf of the members of Community Living Toronto, I would like to thank the members of the Governance Committee for their efforts in recruiting talented and skilled individuals who are committed to the work of the association. Earlier, I referenced the annual report that you all received either by email, mail, or when you arrived this morning. We encourage you to take the time to read the report as it highlights so many important accomplishments from this past year. As a leader in the developmental services sector, Community Living Toronto has a responsibility to advocate for the needs of the people we support, while also taking action to increase our capacity to provide relevant, innovative, and accessible solutions. Our board and its committees are supported by a committed and talented group of volunteers who devote close to 3,000 hours a year to the governance and strategic direction of this great association. I'm going to quickly highlight some examples of their work this past year towards our strategic goals of innovation, organizational strength, and leadership and advocacy. The board awarded our Community Partner and Employer of the Year awards, which were recently presented outside of our AGM. In January, we awarded our Community Partner Award to our neighbor, just down the street, on Bloor Street, the Miles Nadal Jewish Community Center, for their significant contributions to the community inclusion efforts of Community Living Toronto. For the past decade, and most especially over the last 5 years, MNJCC has provided a safe, inclusive space for individuals with an intellectual disability to come and feel like they belong through integrated community programming and special events such as the annual Real Abilities Film Festival. And in July, we presented our Employer of the Year Award to Cineplex Morningside in Scarborough for their outstanding practices in hiring individuals with an intellectual disability, creating valued roles within their company, and ensuring appropriate accommodations are in place and fostering a work environment that promotes inclusion. Along with our Toronto sector partners, we are continuing to advocate for affordable housing options for people with intellectual disabilities that are inclusive and accessible. They are working in partnership with various developers and Create Toronto, formerly Build Toronto, to access new housing opportunities that maximize semi-independent and supported living options. This fall, 26 individuals supported by Community Living Toronto will be moving into their new homes at Madison View, a condo development located a couple of blocks away near DuPont subway station. With our provincial network and OASIS partners, through consultation and surveys, we drafted an overview of developmental services in Ontario to be shared with the provincial government, which outlined our top 10 priorities for providing stability to the sector, while also helping governments find efficiencies and cut red tape. This one clear and consistent message was utilized by developmental sector agencies across the province in meetings with elected officials. To date, as part of our community engagement key strategic priority, Community Living Toronto has met with every Toronto area MPP to talk about our sector, the challenges we're facing, and the opportunities we can help to cultivate. We've spent much of this past year planning for the future success and sustainability of Community Living Toronto. Previous generations of leadership have been stewards of many association assets, including the property we recently sold on Birch Avenue, as well as our current 5-acre Lawson site, which houses our Scarborough office and many supports and services. It's up to us to continue this legacy of stewardship and leverage these assets to build our capacity, enhance supports and services, and better meet the needs of the people we support and the broader community. Brad Saunders will share more details on these exciting plans in his report, which are also outlined in the annual report that you received or can pick up. In November last year, Community Living Toronto hosted another hugely successful disco-themed Community Rocks event with nearly 1,200 people in attendance and nearly $600,000 raised. Thanks to the people involved in that. And we are now looking forward to Community Rocks Beach Party on November 14th, 2020. So please put that in your calendars. Before ending my remarks, I want to highlight that the committees of our board are a vital part of Community Living Toronto movement. Their membership includes a dedicated group of volunteers, family, and community members. I want to acknowledge their combined tenacity, passion, and commitment to the vision and mission of Community Living Toronto. On a personal note, I would also like to acknowledge that this is my last meeting serving as Community Living Toronto's board chair, as I hand over the reins to my colleague, Susan Silma, who's sitting in the front row here. The last 2 years I've spent in this role have been an absolute pleasure. As chair, I have had the privilege of experiencing many different aspects of this incredible organization across all levels and regions. I've attended staff appreciation evenings, fundraisers, volunteer and donor events, family fun fairs, and community rock concerts. I've met so many people, staff, self-advocates, parents, family members, fellow volunteers who have challenged my thinking, taught me new things, and have inspired me to continue to give back. Community Living Toronto has become like a second family to me, and fortunately I don't have to go very far. I will continue to serve as a director on the board as past president, and I look forward to continuing as a member of this passionate team of volunteers to move our strategic priorities forward. With that, I would like to turn over to Brad Saunders, the CEO, to say a few words about some strategic service and program directions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Before I start my remarks, I just wanted to follow up on what you said, Victor, and I think it's a good time to acknowledge, on behalf of the board, staff, volunteers, and people we support at Community Living Toronto, for your leadership and service over the last 2 years. Your skills and expertise and especially your calm and thoughtful approach to things have really have been instrumental in us steering the ship, navigating some challenging situations, and help guiding our strategic planning process. Really happy that you're continuing on the board of directors. And as is our tradition, after 2 years of dedicated hard service, we like to give you a small token of our appreciation. It's not representative of, it is only representative, it can't represent all the energy you put in, but it's a token that you can, it's a pen. It's a nice pen. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of things that Community Living Toronto is quite proud of over the last number of years. The issue when you do something like this is that you always miss some really great stuff that you're doing. But we're really involved in a lot of areas and many things that we're quite proud of. So with that in mind, I'd like to point out that from early each day and into late each evening, from sunrise to sunset and into the wee hours of the morning, staff from Community Living Toronto are always working hard, connecting with people, offering support and guidance to more than 4,000 individuals that we support each year. Volunteers from across the City of Toronto take time away from their families and their jobs and their hobbies to develop relationships, to provide advice, to lend their skills, expertise, and networks to support us in achieving our vision of a society where everyone belongs, a society where everyone is valued. To our staff and volunteers, I would say thank you and great work. Our annual report theme this year is Fostering Inclusive Communities, which reflects our mission which reflects the mission of Community Living Toronto and speaks to the diversity of our organization. The gifts and skills each of us bring to the table and the breadth of work that we do to respond to evolving needs and changing expectations. I'd like to reflect on some of the accomplishments that we've made together over the last year. First of all, Foster's Clubhouse and our Main and Gerrard Community Hub. As Victor mentioned earlier in his remarks, we are committed to carrying on the legacy of stewardship left by previous generations of board and staff at Community Living Toronto. Specifically, when it comes to the association's assets, we have outgrown and that we have outgrown and no longer need. That no longer meet the needs of the people we support, we sold our properties at 30 and 40 Birch. And to relocate the program space, we've began leasing a beautiful corner property that's in Toronto's East End at Main and Gerrard. Over the last several months, we've been busy modernizing that space, which will come to hold our central adult development program on the main floor. And on the second floor is an open concept office space. Renovations should be complete in the coming weeks. As you know, with renovations, they can sometimes drag on. And we're looking forward to being part of that community, nestled between the Upper Beaches and the Danforth Village. We've already begun to engage with the community through local newspapers, connecting with our local elected representatives, and to explore how we can partner with the broader community to open the space and build on the success we've seen in other similar locations, such as our Community Junction and Creative Village Studio. There will be a grand opening, so we'll send out more information on that. Hope you can attend. As Central ADP moves into their new neighborhood, we at 20 Spadina welcomed Foster's Clubhouse earlier this year. We renovated the second floor to be a bright and welcoming space for the clubhouse. We have made the most of our real estate, reduced our footprint, and created a space that is more than just a corporate office, but a place where people can come and be with friends, shoot some pool, and feel a sense, have a space where they belong. We are planning to do more to open up our great location next door to the neighborhood in the coming years. Minister Smith, as he mentioned, toured the clubhouse earlier this year and enjoyed a game of pool. He stayed for quite a while, which was quite nice, and made some really strong relationships that have carried forward. Another interesting thing we did this year related to the clubhouse is we partnered with an organization called the Latika Roy Club in Denduran, India. We have been able to provide some startup funding to allow them to furnish their clubhouse, and we look forward to getting to know them better as we understand each other. We're going to do this by Skype or FaceTime, but that's going to be an adventure. We want to learn from each other to see what we have in common and share our experiences. Our Lawson site that Victor also mentioned earlier. Last year, we announced plans to make a real and significant contribution to the affordable housing crisis in Toronto by beginning to develop our site at Lawson in Scarborough. Lawson has been a part of Community Living Toronto for generations and is another example of how our aging real estate no longer meets our needs. As you may have read in our annual report, we have made significant progress in our plan to develop Lawson into a new and inclusive community consisting of multiple towers with hundreds of affordable condos and apartments through stakeholder focus groups, meeting with local politicians, and working with potential developers and urban design partners. Our annual report includes a draft artist conceptual rendering of what the project may look like upon its completion. Just to give you an idea of the scale of this project, the current plans include up to 1,000, over 1,000 actually, ownership and rental units, with up to about 20% of those units being dedicated for individuals with developmental disability. Plans for Lawson will continue throughout this next year, and we will keep you all up to date on our progress. It is a big undertaking for us, and we're tremendously excited about it. The United Way, we've been working with the United Way as a founding member for many years, and they're a key partner as we continue to build our capacity to support fighting poverty in all its forms in the city of Toronto. Poverty is a central issue, as many of you know, with people with a developmental disability. Just being in receipt of ODSP puts you well below the poverty line. This past year, we brought in a housing facilitator and an educational liaison with the support of United Way to further these vital issues that make a difference in everyday life. Over the next year, through our community engagement, key strategic priority, we will continue to work with our membership and volunteers to better meet the needs of those in our community. Further on the housing theme, as we've talked about a little bit, affordable housing in Toronto is a major barrier for many people we're involved with to independence and inclusion. Building on the success of housing projects that we've had at Dan Leckie Way and the West Donlands, we continue to play a lead role in fostering partnerships with developers across the city. Victor mentioned that later this fall, 26 individuals will be able to call 200 Madison Avenue their home. And if you get a chance, take a look. I drove by there this morning on my way in. Great site, close to transit. It'll be, it's beautiful and it's right in our neighborhood. With our partners at Toronto Developmental Services Alliance, we've been reaching out to our contacts at the City of Toronto to express our interest in new housing developments that are in the works. This is part of an initiative that the city has called Housing Now. Stay tuned for more details. There's lots of exciting stuff happening, and it's not just us. There's lots of organizations around the city doing this as well. I'm going to mention three more things. One is our holistic model of care, and for many years we've been working hard to support children and adults who have complex needs. We're really proud of the work that we've done here and the progress we've made in the past number of years. The outcome for many individuals has been significant, and they have developed and continue to develop skills and competence in areas where they need it most. They are becoming part of their communities. Shadow Lake. For 50 years, Shadow Lake has been a summer vacation highlight for many, many people. Last year, we took steps to make sure that program can continue for another 50 years. Changes were made and lessons were learned, and this summer, our team at Shadow Lake had a fantastic season. We've made investments in the property and in the infrastructure of the camp, as well as in our summer staff, so that our beautiful facility just north of the city can be enjoyed for years to come. And if you're free this weekend, I invite you to check this place out for yourself. This Saturday on the 28th, we're hosting Camp for a Day, an open house at Shadow Lake. Come, bring a friend, bring a family member, have a hot dog, and enjoy a chance to explore the camp. We have over 300 acres up there in addition to the sort of stuff around the lake, so it'd be a great opportunity to check those out. So finally, Discover My Route, which the minister mentioned. I'd like to highlight this. As disruption comes to many industries, we're waiting for it to come to parts of our sector. And this Discover My Route was getting into that area of technology through a partnership with a number of other agencies. ourselves, Community Access Transportation in Hamilton, the Geneva Center, Holland Bloorview, Carey's Place, and Salvation Army Lawson Ministries, and of course the TTC. Discover My Route increases the independence of people with intellectual disabilities through providing a course of up to 16 hours of in-class learning, plus 25 hours of specialized one-to-one route training with a certified instructor. And as we all know, I hope none of you are doing this now, but we all have a smartphone. People are looking at it all the time. Discover My Route offers students this free app for a year, which has a feature, which features sort of a route planning thing that has individualized pictures, a get-off notification. It's really very cool. After its 18-month pilot project, we're proud that Discover My Route has now launched as an ongoing program with the associations, and we'll be partnering with other organizations to offer this as a curriculum. There's a story in our annual report that talks about Liam and his experience of using this app, receiving the training, and how that contributed to his independence. And we're grateful with everyone that has worked with us that we're going to be able to expand this. So this is just a sample of a lot of the exciting things that we're doing and that have emerged from our strategic directions over the last number of years that were established by the board. We've done an effective and creative job thanks to our talented staff in collaboration with our many community partners. We have lots left to do, and I'm looking forward to exciting things in the year to come. Thank you very much.
We would like to thank all the donors that give. Okay. I would like to ask Michael Chillis to come forward and give us our financial report.
Thank you, Nelson. Okay, thank you, Nelson. Good morning, everyone. So in the annual report sent to each member of Community Living Toronto, there's an overview of our finance report. Each member has also received a copy of the financial statement and the auditor's report for the year ending March 31st, 2019. Audited and signed financial statements are also available upon request through the CL Toronto Executive Office at 20 Spadina Road. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Chief Financial and Information Officer Flavian Pinto, as well as Acting Chief Financial Officer Betty Yam and their team for their continued work and dedication. So, as in the past few years, in fiscal 2018-2019, we continued to operate in an environment of austerity and restraint. With no increases to annual operating budgets for the past number of years, Community Living Toronto and the rest of the developmental services sector continued to be challenged to manage rising costs and operating services within these fixed budgets, while also supporting individuals with increasingly complex needs and rising costs. Fiscal funding was provided at the end of the year by our various funders, which helped to provide stability and keep the association's finances on track. In addition, since 2008, we have also seen the significant impact of low interest rates on our pension plan, which has been responsible for volatility on our balance sheet and a draw on our cash position. This situation is not unique to Community Living Toronto, but the leadership expertise provided by our pension subcommittee, the board, has been able to manage and mitigate risk to ensure this does not affect the viability of our organization, nor the quality of services and supports provided. Our association was also provided some stabilization funding by the ministry in 2018 and 2019 as part of the sector stabilization project. And we've also, as previously mentioned, we have reason to understand that this funding will continue for 2019-2020. So despite our financial challenges, we are pleased to see positive operating results. 4 years ago, we were seeing a significant deficit, and now in 2019, we are at a near balanced budget. We have achieved these results while continuing to provide the highest quality of services and supports to over 4,000 individuals. We have continued to keep administrative costs low, even with increasing requirements associated with transformation and the administrative requirements of ever-changing legislation, regulations, and funder requirements. Our goal continues to be to maximize the funds spent on providing services and supports while minimizing administrative costs. For 2018-2019, total revenue was $91.6 million. Approximately 80% of the revenue we received was from the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. The remainder was received from a number of important partners, including the City of Toronto and the United Way of Greater Toronto, as well as our fundraising efforts, fee-for-service programs, entrepreneurial ventures, and user fees. Total expenses came in at $91.8 million. In addition, Community Living Toronto also received a one-time gain on the sale of their Birch property for $16.6 million. In the context of strengthening our balance sheet, the association decided to sell the property we owned on Birch since it was no longer meeting the growing needs of the individuals who use the supports and services. We decided to invest this money and the proceeds to protect and grow this fund as an asset, while delivering income provided to us will provide a small cushion to the operating budget. Financial results of Community Living Toronto are prepared by staff and are fairly presented in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. And these financial results have been audited by our external auditors, KPMG. Again, I wish to thank Flavian and his team for making my job as treasurer run smoothly. And if you have any questions, Flavian or I would be happy to respond. Thank you.
Still your notes. Michael, on behalf of the members of Community Living Toronto, thank you for your report. I know that you've invested many hours to ensure that all areas of Community Living Toronto's finances comply with the requirements of government, other funding bodies, and the Community Living Toronto membership. Michael will now put forward the following motions to the membership. One, to approve the financial statements, and the second, to approve the appointment of the auditors for the coming year.
Okay, so I move that the members of Community Living Toronto approve the audited financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2019. So it'll be moved by myself.
Can we have a seconder? Emery.
Great, thank you, Emery. Discussion, if any, and all those in favor? And any opposed? Okay. For the second motion, I further move that the firm of KPMG be reappointed as auditors for Community Living Toronto for the fiscal year 2019-2020. Moved by myself.
Seconder? Susan?
Okay, thank you, Susan. Discussion? All those in favor? And any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Michael. During the past year, your board of directors convened 9 times. We believe that the business conducted and the decisions made during these meetings were completed in the best interest of the association and its members. If you wish to examine the official signed minutes of the Board of Directors meetings, they are available through our executive office at 20 Spadina Road. I will now ask for a motion that the actions of the Board of Directors of Community Living Toronto for 2018-2019 be approved. May I ask for a mover and a seconder? Emery moves, seconded by Len. Discussion, if any. Those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Now, we would like to thank all the donors. I can't. Okay. We Community Living Toronto like to thank the minister and all our members and the donors for supporting Community Living Toronto.
We would also like to recognize two directors who are retiring from our board this year, one of whom could not be with us today, Donna Britton and Judith Andronacci, who have used their significant knowledge and talents to assist in Community Living Toronto's work over the past number of years. Their contributions have been extensive, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their service as invaluable contributors to the vision of Community Living Toronto. Donna could not be with us today, so I would like to ask Judith to come forward to accept this token of thanks and appreciation. And Donna, if you're watching at home on Facebook, please accept this thank you for your valuable insight, advice, and contributions at the board table over the years. We'll be sure to get this gift out to you soon.
And
No.
I would like to add one more thing, and thank you for the 300 members that are watching over Facebook.
Thank you, Judith. Yeah. Thank you again, Judith. We would also like to recognize the Public Relations and Fundraising team for another outstanding annual report this year. Please join me in congratulating them, as well as the staff in the Executive Office, for coordinating another successful AGM. And of course, thank you. Well, maybe we should clap for that. And of course, thank you to all the members and staff who helped make this a great morning. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge my fellow board members and thank them for their dedication and service. After we adjourn the meeting, I would ask that you all join me on stage to receive a Sunburst pin, a small token of thanks, and to take a photo. After the pin presentation, I would also ask the Board of Directors to please join me next door at 20 Spadina for a very brief board meeting. This brings the 71st Annual General Meeting to a close, so I would ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting. It's recommended that the 71st Annual General Meeting of Community Living Toronto be adjourned, and I just need a mover and a seconder. Valerie. And seconded by Susan. A discussion, if any, about closing the meeting? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, we're good. Motion carried. Thank you all so much for being part of our annual general meeting. Appreciate it.
You all
So